this opportunity to help you all to understand that you proceed under a flawed premise, usually, that does not serve you and never ever will. And that flawed premise is that it matters to me what you think about me. And it also seems to you that if I think this toward you, then you should think likewise toward me. Oh, that's tricky. Because what anyone feels or perceives in any moment in time is way more about what they've been doing and what they've brought their vibration to than anything that has to do with you in this moment. So we want you to consider this just as a really good basis, not just for this question, but for this day. And then we'll go back and walk through this. Think about law of attraction, the law of attraction, and how it manages everything. And think about what it says is that everyone is offering a vibration, and those vibrations are being managed by the law of attraction. The law of attraction is managing all of that. And as the law of attraction is managing all of it, that means that nothing can come to you that is not vibrationally active within you. Which means as you get a response from someone that isn't pleasing, your awareness of that is active in your vibration. So it's hard for you to get anything else. And it feels to you like if they would just do something different, you would feel better. While we keep saying if you would do something different, you would feel better. And if you would do something different, maybe that very person would be activated in a different way. In other words, maybe you would own the room in a more powerful way and evoke something different. Or maybe someone else through the path of least resistance would just zoom right in and fulfill everything that you want, because you're clear and clean and pure and calibrated in your vibration. You don't have all this know what I don't want mixed in with it. So now think about the law of attraction and see yourself as someone who's decided, apart from this conversation, apart from maybe you woke up in the day and you're not yet thinking about that, fat chance, but let's just say that happened. And so your vibration is clear and you are calibrated to your inner being. And so you've decided to really isolate, calibrate, tend to, tune to the frequency of you. So you sit for a little while after you've meditated and you make some statements on a page about emotional things which are indicators of your calibration. And you don't write things that you do not mean, but you write things and you mean them, and you've practiced it enough that you're pretty good at it. And so you write things like, I feel eager about this day. I feel frisky about this day. I feel blessed in this day. Now, the first day you sit to do this, maybe not so much, but after you do this for a little while, it takes some doing to calibrate to your blessedness when not so blessed things are sometimes happening. But you can do it, and your calibration is everything, because your calibration to your source energy is your point of attraction. So I feel blessed, and I feel eager, and I feel expansive, and I feel ready, and I feel open, and I feel full of myself, and I feel fun. And I feel strong, and I feel intuitive, and I feel flexible, and I feel eager, and I feel balanced. I feel good. I feel really, really good. I feel good. So you calibrate. Now, what's happened? Whether you write it or just say it, it's better to write it because you'll focus better. And it's better to do it the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, because after a little while it really catches on. And when you write those words, you feel the resonance of them, because it lights your inner being up with you. The two of you become a powerful, dynamic, powerful, good-feeling team. It's the awesome power, or we like to say the awesome pleasure, of non-resistant thought that you've got going on with your non-physical partner. That's a powerful point of attraction. One who's connected to that is more powerful than millions who are not. So it's worth taking the time to do it. So you're all tuned into that. And now the image that Esther has in her mind is she's in this energy bubble, and she's now moving out into the world, into traffic, through the airports, into places where lots of people are. And because she's tuned to all things wanted, things wanted are lighting up all around her. And those lighted up things are her world. And the things that she didn't calibrate to, like nobody loves me, or resentment, or what's up with that, or that was rude of you, or what, I've given all this to you and you feel that way about me? Since that's not what she's calibrated to, since she's calibrated to who she really is, as she moves through the world, she's in sync with Source. Things that match the way she feels show up. Now, let's say you're in this bubble and you've done that and you're moving out into the world. And let's say the world that you've moved out into is right now small. It's just your thought world. It's just your thoughts of the people that you know. And because you've calibrated to this, the people that are going to come to your mind are the people who are calibrated there with you. People in a bad mood aren't going to come to your mind. People not in love with life and not in love with themselves are not going to come to your mind. And so just in your thought world, you are already cleaner, purer, more calibrated, but then you move into the day. Then you move into conversations. Just the ideas of who you will reach out to will be about what you're calibrated to. You can always tell two ways. You can tell what you are a vibrational match to. We've been saying this forever. One is how you feel and one is by what happens. But most people don't even think about calibrating until they bump into something unwanted, and then we love you so much it's too late. Too late for now. You're just going to bump into them and you're just going to get your feelings hurt and you're just going to have a bad experience and you're going to blame it on them, and you're going to practice the uncalibration of your inner being while you practice resentment and other things that just don't serve you at all. And so you just can't get around this. You got to clean up your vibration. And just because somebody is misbehaving by your standards to you doesn't mean you have to notice it and take it in. So you got to do something about that sensitivity. Well, that's not an easy thing to do because most humans have been doing it for a very long time. Most of you have been calibrating. Oh, we love you so much, but we love you so much. You've been calibrating to others' response of you, as if that has anything to do with anything, because they, like that one individual, like the world at large, is a mixed bag that will give you what you've calibrated. That one individual is like the world at large, a mixed bag. We've been playing with an analogy to see how it sits with you, and it's effective. We want you to think about all of the people in the world in an arena, a really big arena. And they've gathered together in clusters, and they've given themselves different labels. There are Republicans and Democrats, and there are Catholics and Protestants, and there are Jews. There are every category that you can name. There they all are clustered together. They're conflicted because some of them belong in more than one group, and they don't know what to do. But there they are, and in most cases, they are clustered together, talking smack about the other groups. That's mostly what they're doing. And we say, there are only two groups, really. There are only two groups. There's the group who, in this moment, that's a key word, in this moment are under the influence of their alignment with Source, they're calibrated to Source, or those who are in this moment calibrated to something else. And in every one of those groups, there are those calibrated to Source, every one of those groups. And in every one of those groups, there are those calibrated to something else. And you cannot, have never been able to, and will never be able to do anything about what they're calibrated to. And if you spend your life trying to figure out why they think the way they do, or why they feel the way they do, or why they see that in the way that they see it when you see it entirely different, you will waste your life. You will deprive yourself of any happy moments because it's just too much, and it's not your job. It's not even close to your job. It has nothing to do with you. So whether it's this whole cluster of humanity or whether it's just a person, pay no attention to where they're at. Only give attention to where you're at. Tend to your own calibration and then watch what happens. Because when you choose anyone in any of those groups and you decide to push against them, maybe because of their denial of you, or maybe because of their disagreement with you, maybe because they see something different than you do, doesn't matter. There are lots of reasons that you might want to push against. There are lots of examples of who you might push against, but there's only one reason that you're pushing against any of them. Drum roll, please. There's only one reason that you're pushing against any of them. They threaten you because you're not calibrated. You counted on them for your source and your strength. That's why you gather together in clumps with others. Is because you don't feel strong on your own. But when you've learned to calibrate to your own wholeness, calibrate to your joy, calibrate to your love, calibrate to your clarity, calibrate to who you are, now you can love them. You can love all of them. They don't threaten you. Some of them call you. Some of them entertain you. Some of them wrap their arms around you and love you, but it is not important to you what they do. You free them to their own creation while you tend to yours. You see. In the beginning, it's easier to change the subject altogether, but that's easier said than done, because something about this person is active in lots of ways with what matters to you. And we want to say to you, the calibration between the two of you is not that far off. It's just that he doesn't like you. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's that things that he doesn't like about himself are the same things that you don't like about yourself, and they're active in both of you, and they are acting as aversion points.
Good to know.
Even in your dislike of each other, law of attraction is working. You see? And so it's easier said than done, but we would encourage you to always just step back to the basis of what you know and decide that you're going to calibrate.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video.